So, welcome once more to Leopard Street. Welcome to the cellar. Slightly different video, this one. This is sort of not really the model railway series as such. Recently, I noted my dear beloved Ender 3 V2 FDM printers, the filament stuff that squirts out like the long thin sausage and makes things by drawing lines, has died. It's on its fourth, I think it was, temperature sensor, and yeah, no go. So today what I'm going to be doing is looking at what I've got in this box here, which is its replacement. Yeah, let's have a look at this. Okay, so printer. Try and find a knife so I can get into the box. Printer failed during the week, and I started looking for a replacement. Now, when I bought the Ender 3 V2 about 4 years ago, I spent a little bit of time having a look. What can I do? Specifically, one thing you don't normally think about, one thing I had to because my PC was a bit rubbish. What specification of computer do you need to run the software? Because at the time I was using this computer here, which now runs the layout. This is, just put this on the floor, I can get it out of the box. The computer I was using has got, it's an Intel something or other, i5 with Core i5, 8 gig of RAM. It's quite a basic one, but it was a cheap refurb. Now, the result of that was a lot of the more fancy printer software, the phone, wouldn't run on it. So I had to get one that would work with something a bit more basic. At the Ender 3 V2 would work with something a bit more basic. I'll get this out of here. Come on, out. Trying to get it to drop the box. Yeah, so I got that. It worked. In the intervening time, to be honest, I've used it. I bought the thing as a tool. I didn't really buy it as a hobby. I realised that 3D printing can be a bit of a rabbit hole. Right, that's that box done. So what have I got now instead? Bear in mind, I didn't spend a great deal of time. I've not been following what the latest and greatest bits of technology is. I know resin printers can do a lot more than these FDM filament printers can. That doesn't actually bother me. I've got a resin printer. It lives at the other end of the desk. This is the front. It's not been used in over a year. Basically, it doesn't work. Well, it does work, but it needs a lot of work. So at some point, I'm going to get another one of those as well. I was looking at a few things. Ian's Engage channel. Ian has recently picked up a Bamboo Labs P1P, I think he's got. And I thought, that sounds quite good. I might look at getting one of those, because he's not had any problems with it. Can't get them. Whether it's just an obsolete model now or what, I don't know. I should get some of this packing out of here. So what I've ended up with is this. This is a Flashforge AD5X. And a lot of packing foam, which is interesting. Right, if I take that piece out, maybe this piece will come out then. Oh, I see, that goes backwards. I can take that out. Let's assuming I can get into it. This one has a party trick of this can print in colour. Now, by colour, I don't mean I don't have anything around here. Yeah, I've got a model up there painted. I don't mean, for example, I could paint a fully painted train. By colour, what I mean is this thing will print in spot colour. So you can have a piece of plastic that is black, you can have a piece of plastic that is white, you can have a piece of plastic that is blue. What you can't do is say, I want this piece of plastic to be a little bit of blue, a little bit of black, and blend it all together. So, yeah. And I thought, well, that's a bit of a gimmick. I'm not that bothered by that. And then it occurred to me, if I'm printing a control panel, just a simple control panel. Ooh, that's nice. Magnetic, comes off. Yeah, if I'm printing, say, a simple little control panel, what I might want to do is have part of that control panel labelled. It's a fairly straightforward thing to do, you know. If I have a button, I might want to put a label next to that button. And what I've done before, using the old one of these, I'd print it with the letters recessed. And I'd go in with some paint. Well, what I can do with this is I can print a back layer in, say, white, then print a black layer in front of it with holes in, so you can see the white lettering. I like that idea. Right. I need some instructions to see what on earth it is I'm doing with this. So, remove the toolkit from packing foam. It says there's a toolkit somewhere in the packing foam. Here we are. Take out the 2.5mm Allen key. Well, 2.5mm hex wrench, it calls it. So, or what that is. Find out what that is later. White grease. I know it's white grease because it says it's white grease. 3D printing adhesive. Oh yes, yeah. Hopefully won't need too much of that. Yet another pair of cutters. I must have a dozen of these now. I'm not complaining, they're useful. There's various little screws. That's a clip of some sort. Here we are, right. Allen keys. So what I need to do, it says on this, 3 of those. Take the one out of the middle. So unscrew the 4 screws and remove the metal plate. Which metal plate is it talking about? There's a metal plate here it's talking about, apparently. I need to remove that one. Yeah, we shall see. Anyway, so yeah, I got this thing. It's colour printing, possibly a little bit of a gimmick, but also possibly useful. So yeah, I mean, where I'm printing things like a servo motor mount, do I care what colour it is? Not really. Dingleberry upstairs has got some in grey, some in bright blue. They're under the board, you can't see them, doesn't matter. So yeah, right, so to continue with this. There's that one, and loosen that one as well. What do you do with this bracket after you've taken it off? So we'll find out in a bit. That folds down. This one's in the open. I print in PLA, which is, I think, basically cornstarch. Just like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Right, so that goes. Oh, I see. That's got some clips. So that sort of clips. Got some tape. I don't know if the tape's necessary or not. Right, one thing I do want to do with this while I'm looking at it, I didn't just buy this. I've also got. I remember where I put the knife I opened it all with. I'm going to cry in a minute. I can't bloody find. Here we are. Put it under things. I also got a camera kit for it because this is the other thing. The Ender 3 was quite an old one of these things, the version 2 I had. And you run around with an SD card. It's really nice, but it's an SD card and you run around with it. And then you drop it and then a cat finds it and the cat chases it and then you chase the cat and yeah anyway. This connects over a network. Now this has got, this doesn't come with it by the way, I had to buy this separately. This has got a camera. Now, a little lens cover on it which I can take off. I believe this fits up here somewhere because it's got a very small connector that fits into the back of this screen. I'm just make sure I get this the right way round. Is it that way round? No, I think it's that way round. Yeah, that goes in that way round. Look at that. That's the camera connector, so I can push that down. I'll find out how to secure that in a minute. This apparently Flip, take out display screen, follow direction of arrows in diagram to push the screen and secure it in place. Please handle screen cable with care, avoid pulling or damaging it. So that has got two... Not that way? No, not that way. It's got two little bits on the back. And there's a piece it's supposed to fit onto here. This has got some tape on it, which I rather suspect needs to come off. The reason I suspect that is because it's in the way, so I'm going to remove that. Right, so that has got two clips. By the look of it, I don't know if they're supposed to fit in the top or fit in the side. I'm guessing in the top somewhere. But... so they're there. Okay, so that's that bit. Yeah. Okay, that's that fitted in place. Right. I think I fitted the screen. The camera. I don't know, but I'm going to guess fits under there somewhere. I'll sort that out in a bit. Right, what else have we got? Right, that's the instructions on fitting the screen. So, what else have I got? Shenyang Flashforge 3D Technology Limited. Enterprise product website, consumer product website. A thank you card from Flashforge. Thank you for choosing Flashforge. Your support drives us forwards. Okay, whatever. Right, that's an envelope. Don't worry about the rest of that. Quick start guide. So, I love this. I really, really love this. It's got instructions on how to take it out of the box. Take it out of the box to get at the instructions. Yeah, anyway, I love all this sort of stuff. Remove that, that fits the screen, okay. Printer components, I believe, I'm given to understand there are some other bits and pieces in here. Colour IFS module, okay, so that, I'll put that on there, I can't see what I'm doing. Right, there is a mounting plate somewhere. What have we got? I've got a connector cable. Just looking at this thing. And there is, there's one of these. Now, what's this? This is my connecting bit, which I think screws on here. Okay, so I need to find a couple of screws. Secure mounting base using two M3x6 screws. If I could get into the bag that's got them, I probably would. Right. Six M3x6. Ah, the joys of this sort of thing. Right. So that I think is the right size. Can't be the right size. It's too short. It's got to be those. The reason I'm saying it's got to be those is because the other ones aren't long enough. I'm not sure they're long enough really, but we'll see. I'm not sure how exactly whether these are the correct ones or not. I guess I'll find out later if I can't fit something else. Right, so that screws onto the side like that. Fairly solid. Right. Now I need this thing. So that goes like that. It goes on at 45 degrees. That was simple enough. Right. We'll slide forwards and let's come over a little bit. Secure the 4-in-1 guide. Insert guide tube into extruder. Well, that's this bit, I believe. Oh right, yes, I see that. And then there's a... What's that? An M3x6 screw. Have I got another one? Can't be that. That's something else. Yeah. We shall see. It's got... It says it's got... Going in... Seems to be. Okay, that's that in place. Connect extruder cable and guides. Where? Oh, I see. There's a clip on this thing. Connect the extruder cable to the guide tube together through the buckle. Okay. Need to... yeah. Anyway, like I said, yeah, 3D printing, it can be a rabbit hole, quite frankly. So there we go. Connect the IFS cable to the 4-color module corresponding port. Okay, that seems to be on the back. So, yeah. They say you can set this up in about 10 minutes. I have my doubts. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have my doubts on that. So that goes into there by the look of that. Okay. There's a little slot on the back of it. It seems various people have described it as the fact it poos itself. Whenever it changes colour, it just spits rubbish out the back, which is a bit... Oh, right. Actually, while I've got that way round, there's something else I need to get. Is an Ethernet connector, because you can set this up with Wi-Fi. From what I've gathered, that requires you creating an account on their website and downloading an app and all that sort of good, wonderful stuff, which I have got no intention of doing. So I'm going to plug an Ethernet cable in, which I'm going to let hang over the front. And while that is in, and I've got the thing this way around, I'm also going to plug the power cable in. The power switch is on the back. That is slightly annoying. Not massively annoying. There seems to be a trend with modern equipment that the power switch is somewhere you can't get at it or see it, which I just find annoying. Right, I'm not going to plug this in because I know there's more stuff I need to do with setup on it yet. I just want to get this cable done so I don't have to spin it back round again. So excuse me, I'll just plug that into there. That's fine. Right. So what else do I need to do on the back? Is there anything else I need to do on the back? Secure the cable clip. Oh right, I see. They've given me a cable thing for this, and it pops out here. Okay, well, yeah, I mean we'll see how well that goes in. Yeah, I mean, it'll either fit or it won't. So yeah, we'll see. This doesn't move when it's in, or at least I don't think it does. So presumably this is just about stopping it catching on things. So that into there, that into there. Tighten those up. Okay, right, I think that's it for stuff on the back. That spin back around. One thing I noticed with this, the Ender 3 came with a little slot in the side of it to put all the tools in. This one doesn't seem to. Not a massive problem, it's just something I've noticed. Put a bit of tape on top of that, keep it out of the way. Right. So that's that. I've now got to insert the filament holders onto the side of the thing. Are these numbered? Oh, they are. See, I've seen some. I did see some reviews of this that these things aren't numbered in the reviews, whereas here they are, which is quite nice. It matters because you have to connect them to the right thing. So that goes on there, and you connect your stuff to it. Number 1, which is this one. Yes. Anyway, let's just get on there. Oh, they're sprung loaded. Oh, I see. Yes, so they go in different. Yeah, these things turn in different directions. So that one goes on to there. Number 2. Because I say this is colour, so this thing can take 4 spools of the PLA filament. Yeah, shorter control panels. I'm not sure how much use I'm going to make of that. I probably will use it, but we'll see. Right, secure that, secure that. Remove 3 screws that lock the build plate. Okay, this is a top-down view, so I'll take that in. I'll leave that in by the look of it. Right, there are some screws, which I believe... I'm going to suggest they're these silver ones because whoever's designed this has actually been rather thoughtful. The screws you have to remove have got arrows. That's nice. Arrows on them. Remove this. So take that one out. That one out. And then apparently we can switch this thing on. This thing says, oh, you need to turn on the Wi-Fi switch. Well, hopefully I don't, because I'm hoping it'll just connect over the house network, because to be honest, the Wi-Fi down here isn't brilliant. This is why I use ESP32s that have an external antenna rather than just using the built-in little antenna that a lot of them come with. It's just one of those annoyances in the house. I mean, obviously we are a really long distance away from the Sky Q router here. Go to the other end of the layout and go up about 1 meter, that's where it is. So the fact that things directly underneath it have trouble finding it, I think is quite telling on the router. Right, and according to that is that set up. So I'm going to put all the screws I've got left over, because I've got screws left over, which is interesting. Where does this metal plate go? There's a metal plate that comes on the front of it, and I'm trying to work out where it goes. Remove the metal plate. Okay. I'm just checking because you would have thought it was packing. You wouldn't need to do anything with it, but secure the mounting plate, tilt that, clamp that. And the rest of the book is the instructions to put it together in Chinese. There's a little bit more on loading certain bits of filament, which I'm going to come to in a minute. And that's it. So if anybody's got a Flashforge AD5X and knows what you do with that bit, answers in the comments, because I don't know what it's for. I can't see it in the book. Presumably it does something. Like I say, if it was just packing, you'd have thought it'd be plastic, but I mean, it held the screen in place during transit, so I suppose it could be that. I think that is for clearing nozzles and stuff with, so we'll put that over there, and put that over there, all back up here out of the way. Have a little look and see if there is anything else to this. We have some PLA filament. Now, this was another option I had. I could have just said, you know what, sod it, I'm just going to have a resin printer and work with that. One of the reasons I didn't is I've got a box of 16 spools of the filament for this thing that I got recently, and I'm rather keen on not wasting all of that. So, right, Ethernet cable. Get the power lead out the way first. If I drop this down here, and I want to plug this into something that's going to be off when I power it up. Let's check Ethernet port reaches. Oh, it does, but only just. Blimey. I might have to. That's a bit better. I might have to get myself another Ethernet cable that's a little bit longer. Now, this is only a ½ meter one, but should be alright. Right, that goes into that socket there. All this stuff comes out of the way, and then apparently I switch it on. So let's have. Oh, it says Flashforge on here, and that is making noise. So I'm going to guess that works. So I'll just wait for this thing to switch itself on properly. It's singing at me. That was nice. I don't know if it makes it work any better or not, but that was nice. Right, initialization, it says in American, because it's got a Z in it. I want English as the language. Please confirm all packing materials inside the device have been removed. 3 locking screws on the bed have been removed. Click next. Right, there's no screw there, nothing there, nothing there. Next. Wi-Fi. Don't want Wi-Fi. It's moving. This device will perform an automatic self-check which will take a few minutes. As you can see, the print bed is lifting up. It's not told me to load any filament into it yet, so yes, it's bind the printer. Following instructions can be skipped if binding can still be done later on the printer. Click OK, the QR code will appear. I don't want a QR code. The phone I would need to do all that with is the phone I'm filming this on, and for me, a huge no with a device is, if this device isn't connected to the internet, it won't work. Don't like that. I would much rather have something that can just work. Hence why I've got this thing, which apparently will just work with an Ethernet connection. And up here, I have a little router. I've had to modify the desk a bit. I've only got one Wi-Fi Ethernet cable that came down here, and it went into the PC, which doesn't have Wi-Fi. So I've had to dig up a little switch which sits up there. This little 5-port TP-Link one, which I had upstairs before I needed more than 5 ports. I've now got an 8-port one up there. But anyway, never mind. Yeah, so that's up there. Bed's warming up nicely. So this can plug in and the PC can plug in. And whatever. Yes, adhesive and grease. I think I need another toolbox. I'm worried that should be somewhere, but I've not seen anything on the instructions. So this, according to this, its head is at 220 degrees C, and the print bed is coming up, and it says this is leveling. So I think what it's going to do is get itself hot, and it's then going to level itself. This is the other thing. The Creality Ender 3 V2 didn't self-level. I've upgraded it. I gave it a self-leveling kit. I bought one and I fitted it to it. It cost about 60-70 quid to get that up and running. Because otherwise you had to level it every single time, and it was a pain. It had little wheels with little springs, and as it moved they'd vibrate slightly and they'd turn a little bit, and it wouldn't be level. So, whatever. So anyway, hopefully this thing will sort itself out. All the modern ones do. I've not seen one you have to level yourself for a very long time, actually. I'm not even sure there are many that do it now, apart from probably some really, really cheap and nasty ones. It's got that lovely smell of warm electronics. So here I've got, these are little test spools. They're borderline useless. I'm going to use them because I want to do a colour test with it. The spools I actually use are like this, and they'll slot on here. And that's a kilogram of PLA. And you'll get loads out of that. Little brackets, all sorts of stuff like that. You don't run out of them. It's making little noises at me now. Yeah, you don't run out of them very easily, very often, if you're just printing small stuff. If you're printing bigger things, you will. It's levelling itself now. It's doing things. And a cooling fan has started. I must say, I've just literally just unboxed this thing. I've got no idea what it's actually doing at this moment, other than what it tells me on the screen. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, I use these things for some model railway bits. Electronic mounting brackets, mostly servo mounting brackets. I actually bought the original one. I was playing a game called Battletech, which is a tabletop game. Not quite big stompy robots running around shooting at each other, but it's getting there. It's now saying it's going to take a few more minutes. And I wanted some terrain for this, some buildings, hills, mostly buildings. And you can buy them. Doing enough for a full table was going to cost the best part of 300 quid to do it well. Have a nice variety. And I thought to myself, that's quite expensive. So I bought the printer, and it cost me about 250. I got it on Amazon. And this, incidentally, is one of the reasons I've got the Flashforge one. It's on Amazon, and they could get it to me the next day. The Bamboo Labs one, delivery was February. I want this thing. I've got mountings and stuff I need to print. I've got bits I need for the model railway turntable and other bits and pieces. So I wanted one fairly quickly. And that's how it went. Fairly nicely. And it turned up. But I bought the original, let's say the gaming terrain, and I printed a full table's worth of terrain. I mean, I printed, if I can pick this up, tree stump. I did these for Lord of the Rings, I think. Well, yeah, Lord of the Rings. I just want some terrain, just trees. And it's printed plastic. It's hollow. It's got like a grid inside it, a mesh. Obviously, I painted that. It prints in the, you can see the grey. It prints in grey. I painted that brown. I've got a whole stack of them up here. And I printed buildings. I mean, if I just wander over here and see if I can find one. Things like this, little buildings. I mean, these were for Legions Imperialis. But you can use them for any sort of like 6, 10, 8 mil type sci-fi game. It's a little building, and it's instead of spending a fortune for them, Games Workshop will sell you kits for these, for their versions of the little robot stompy game. Ludicrously expensive. A reel of the filament costs about 20 quid, maybe less. You'll get loads of this stuff out of it. So basically, for the cost of the printer and 2 reels of filament I think I spent on it, I got a whole table's worth of terrain. It was cheaper than buying the terrain to buy the printer and all that. I still had the printer at the end of it. So there's loads of things you can do with them. Like I say, this is normally a model railway channel. I do a few other bits and pieces on it now and again. But this is what I've got it for. I printed a surround for the turntable on this. I've printed lots of brackets. I can see now I've got the colour ability, so I don't have to layer things and paint it. It's going down again now. I can see getting a lot more stuff done with this. Servo brackets are the main ones. Little mounts, I haven't got any to hand. Just a flat plate with a couple of holes in it that you can put screws in. You put a circuit board on top of that, screw it in, and you can screw that to a piece of wood. And it means you can use little screws to hold the circuit board to the plastic, and it will keep it away from things behind it. That's nice. And it will just provide a mounting plate. I've got two circuit boards I need to keep close together. I just put them on one plate and have a bit of wire between them. So it sounds like an engine firing up currently. Vibration test, that's why. Yeah, so there's loads of stuff I can do with them. I think it's a useful thing to have. Now, as a hobbyist, as a model railway hobbyist, this style, it's good for brackets, it's good for... would you print things like platforms with it? No. You could print a platform with this and then clad it with brick paper. You can do that. That would work perfectly well. If you want detailed patterns, models, or to put little benches to put on platforms and things, get a resin one. These are better for structural bits and pieces. Like I say, panels, handsets. Those of you who use... still testing vibration. Those of you who use a Gauge Master or the NEC Power Cab, the clips for hanging the thing in. Perfect. Cable tidies, all that sort of stuff. Does that justify... I mean, this was 330, I believe. And I bought the camera kit to go with it, which is another 40. Is it worth that just for... I want to make a control panel? Not really. If you've got a very simple layout, you're sorted. But you can do all sorts of weird bits with these. So it varies, depends what you want to do. Track alignment jigs. You know, I need an alignment jig for a 19.3 millimeter, inch radius curve. Yeah, print one then. Stuff you can just sit. Have you seen the Pico rail gauges? Which I've got. These things. I mean, these are the Pico ones. I've not printed these. I bought these because they're fairly cheap. But you got some bits. You sit it that way up in the piece of track, and it tells you you've got the right spacing. We can print a little block that just sits between the sleepers, which, if you're doing weird curves, is just easier. Anyway, I'm waffling while this thing carries on finishing. 2, 1, oh, what's it nearly finished? In true device countdown style, it's counted down to 0, and it's now just sitting on 0. Oh, it says done. Right, what else are we doing? Let's have a look. Let's see where this camera fits. Ooh. Select a slot and edit the filament. Well, what I'm going to do is let's load some filament. This is slot number 1, so I'm going to put some filament in. Channel filament auto loading, please wait. Okay, so that's filament 1. When it says please wait, I'm going to assume it means let it finish what it's doing before you try and do another one. Here's number 2, which is... It must have another end. Oh, there we are. So that's loaded. That one on there. It has, of course, just sprung absolutely everywhere, but there you go. Right, that one is into there. And what I think this is doing is this takes the filament in and it pushes it. Yeah, it's coming through this tube. I can see the yellow one through it. Takes it to the print head, so that from there it can work out what it needs to do. And I've got now, I've got a blue one down here. feed into number. It's going to take the blue one in as number 3. Apparently this thing has got files already loaded on it. You obviously have to make this talk to a computer and do 3D things to make it actually do anything. Yeah, you probably can't see it on here, but there's a pipe that's changing colour as this goes through. Put that one on there. And this is something I quite like. The Ender, the older printer I've got, changing the filament on it was a nightmare. Doable, I mean you get used to doing it, but you've got to clip the bit at the end, and if it's too curved it won't go into the hole it has to go into, and lots of this. So it says here, select a slot and edit the filament. So 1, filament type is PLA, filament colour is white. Seems relatively simple. 2 is this one here. There's a little menu that's come up here. Filament type, PLA, colour, yellow. Okay. Filament 3 is PLA. You can print in lots of different materials on this thing. It's blue. For example, you can print in ABS, which, if you do print in ABS, it stinks. So don't unless you've got an enclosure or very good ventilation. But it gives you something that's quite robust. Right, so that's those loaded. Next, what else are we going to do? File name, it's got a test model. There's a few other things I want to do. There's ready, you don't want ready, I want settings. Preparation, operation not allowed. Oh, okay, so it's doing something. I don't know what it's doing. I think it's decided it's going to print its test model piece for me. Whether I want it to or not, it's going to do it. And if it starts, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to go off and do something else for a bit. Because it'll take a while. Have a little look. Can I do this? Preparation, operation not allowed. Yeah, I don't think I can do a lot on this. Yeah, it says ready 0%. Yes, let's see what this is actually doing at the moment. Oh right, I see. Yes, it's heating up. I can see the little displays are moving. Seems to be part of its setup is it's going to print its first thing, whether I want it to or not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this running. I'll come back and we'll have a little look later and see what it's done, and then I'll try and print something of mine. So yeah, this has taken what 40 odd minutes now. We'll see. Catch you a bit. Just a quick little bit of this thing in action. Suffice it to say, my previous one did not move that quickly. That's the control panel. So yeah, that's on its third layer already and going like the clappers. So yeah, back in a bit, we'll see what it looks like. Okay, it took it about 15 minutes, which I was surprised at. Here we have a thing. This is their little logo as a 2-colour print. So as you can see, you could make control panel stuff with that fairly easily. That's that. Yeah, did that as well. And there's the little poos that came out the back of the thing. I've got it doing the classic benchy thing as a further test. It's upgraded its firmware. I've installed a camera, which lurks there. I don't know how well that works. I'm going to see. Yeah, so that works. This is apparently going to take about 45 minutes. Very impressed with the speed. The quality is nice. It feels nice. It's not horrible on the top as I've had some prints. I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, you can't see it on the camera, but yeah, there are little layer artifacts and things on there. Put it up there and zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I didn't want to focus, but never mind. Yeah, so there we go. I'm going to leave it to print this next one, and I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to see if I can get the computer to find this thing and talk to it, because it is now on my network. So yeah, let's go and play. Okay, so I've had this thing now for a few hours, and literally just a few hours. We have the obligatory, if you don't know what this is called a benchy, and it's basically a benchmarking model. There's all sorts of weird details, and there's like text on the bottom, there's weird little holes in it, and awkward slopes, overhangs. It's not quite a torture test for printers, but it's a really good, is this set up properly test. And so these up. Now this is an example. When I say it poos, this is what it sort of spits out. In fact, thinking about it, yeah, there's quite a few behind there already. Right, so what I've done, I've printed what I've been trying to print for the past week. This is a stepper motor bracket for a turntable. So if I can just persuade it to come off. Now, in the interests of full disclosure and honesty here, this is an earlier version from the same printer that didn't stick. And here's an even earlier version that didn't stick. So yeah, this technology is good. But what I would say is it's far from, if you're not willing to fiddle with it, it just works type technology. It's not quite there yet. It's getting there. I mean, that I ended up putting some glue on here. It comes with a glue stick. I ended up having to put some of that on there and do quite a lot of fiddling with temperature settings. But I have, as a result, now got this. Now this, I'm quite keen actually to see whether this... Now this is really good. I've got some little pegs that stick up on there, and I printed some holes in the bottom of that. Now I was playing with this with the Ender 3, because what I want is I've got to peel the film bits off. Let's just do that. See if I can get those to come off. I might need a knife to remove those. You can get it to print a little edge piece around it, sort of helps it stick. Because if it doesn't stick, you end up with what looks like spaghetti printing everywhere. So yeah, peel that off. The idea is that will bolt to the bottom of the turntable, which is behind me, so I can show you. Right. So yes, that piece will go on there. I'll feed the wires through it and all that. That's that. There is then, so once that's underneath, there is then this piece which fits on that way around, and has got a couple of holes, and I can fit the motor into it. I'm gonna have to clear the holes out. Interestingly, something I forgot. I told it when I printed that skirt bit around it. It's actually filled in all the screw holes as well, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of cleaning up. But it's come out okay. Now, when I did this on the Ender 3, the little spigots on the top never fitted properly into the holes. I had to cut them off, and I mean, I got through about 4 copies of it before I realised I'd screwed the design up. So that fits on there quite nicely now. So one of the jobs I can do, this is Saturday evening, so I'm not doing it tonight. I'll do another video with the turntable. Hopefully this will let me fit the stepper motor, and it's printed it a lot more accurately than the other printer did, because like I say, those bits actually fit. So what do I think? Well, like I say, I've had this thing for a few hours. It's easy to set up. Getting it to talk to the PC upstairs, that was fun. There's an option on this. The secret is you have to set the Ethernet setting up, and you can do this with Wi-Fi as well. It will do it. There's another option called LAN only. You need to set that up. If that's off, this thing assumes it's talking via the Flashforge servers in China somewhere and then coming back down again. So it won't talk to your local PC at all. Your PC, you can send stuff to it and that works and it'll print, but you can't get any information back out of it. Select LAN only, and now the software talks to it both ways. I fitted a camera to this. I've got some video somewhere of it working. It's not the world's best camera, but it's there so you can see. I mean, I used it to detect these ones were peeling off the bed, so I could just say no, stop. Don't carry on, just stop. Don't waste the material. So that worked. But it'll tell you the temperature settings. I mean, if nothing else, if the thing hasn't been printing for a while, it'll tell me what the temperature in the cellar is. And on that point, it's warmer down here now than when I started. These things do use a little bit of power. I've not measured exactly how much, but that plate, which as you can see is not a small thing, that has been sitting at 70 degrees C. While this has been printing. So that's quite a large area warming up. Keeps down here quite warm. You can get an enclosure which puts clear acrylic on the sides, give you a door on the front, and there's like a clear acrylic hood piece that fits over the top. In true circular logic fashion, you really want to print that in ABS. But to print it in ABS, you need an enclosure. Yeah, go figure. Anyway, never mind. If you could just buy that as a kit with all the complete bits and just fit it, I'd probably get one. But since you've got to print your own, I'm not sure I can be bothered. Anyway, I don't print in ABS, so I'm not that fussed. But if you put an enclosure around it, obviously it heats up and then the space inside it gets warm and the room around it doesn't get as warm, so it's more efficient. It's worth noting. I'm happy I got it. Yes. Does it need a little bit more experimentation? Very much so. As you can see, I've got one spool of filament loaded on it. For the most part, I'm only ever going to use one. I don't know if this will do it. I suspect it will, but I've done some prints where it'll use more than one of these spools in a single print. I suspect if I load 2 purple ones on here and tell it they're both purple, and one runs out, it'll just start using the next. Don't know. Think it probably will. I've got a lot more prints to do with this as tests, and the next one I'm going to print some stuff for one of my tabletop games, just because I can. And that's really just another test of the thing. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I've got, have I got one to hand? I haven't got one to hand down here. I need to print a load more point servo mounts. I need to print board controller circuit board mounts. It's all fairly straightforward stuff. That's really what I got it for. And that's why, effectively, I bought this one rather than one that was going to take over a month to get here. I wanted one now. I'm impatient and I didn't want to stop. So yeah, happy with this. I've done a review on Amazon. As obviously I got it off Amazon. 4-star is what I'd give it. Hardware I like. The software trying to force you into you will register an account and all this sort of nonsense. Don't like that. It'll work without it. It should just be easier. And yeah, that's about it really. So with that, I'm going to wrap this video up. This has been sort of a leopard's tail. This is the Flashforge AD5X printer. Unboxing to first print. Well, first print I wanted to print, which was this little beastie, which I told it to print, was about 45 minutes. And then that took about 50 minutes to print in the 4 colours. As you say, yeah, these things, this is quick. This is 3 times quicker than the old one. The Benchy on that took about an hour and a half. The speed, it's if you print a long line, this will go a lot faster than that. But when you're printing fiddly details, it's faster, but not 3 times faster. So yeah, it's about 45 minutes before I could tell it, I want you to print this, and have it do it. But it works. It's simple enough. There's a lot less faffing than an older printer. This thing, like, it does all the bed leveling, all that stuff. It does itself. You don't need to worry about it. Plug it in and go. Yeah, so that's it for this video. I've sort of done this as a separate thing because I'm aware a lot of the people on the Railway channel probably don't really want to see it. I will mention this in the next Railway video, and I'll probably have bits of this video in there sped up as things in the background. But in terms of, is this thing usable? Yes, but be prepared to do a little bit of experimenting and fiddling. This is not... It's like a computer about 25 years, 30 years ago. It's wonderfully powerful if you're prepared to put the time in to work out how to use it. This one is... I've got 3 3D printers. This is the newest, this is the best one. This is by far the easiest to use. The resin one is also easy to use, but is a mess to clean. This doesn't need messy cleaning. The Ender 3 was the first one I had. It was pretty good when I got it. I mean, to be honest, it's not bad now when they work. It's just that one's a bit old and it's a bit knackered. So yeah, useful bits of kit if you've got a use for one. I've known a few people who've got these things and they print some of the test bits and pieces and they print some little boxes and neat little storage things, and they go, well, I don't know what else to do with it. So yeah, you make drawer tidies, knickknacks, Christmas gifts. There's a little coloured dragon you can print, which is like, it's flexible, it's in pieces, but it prints in one piece, if that makes sense. You can print like a wheel on a hub on this thing. Those weird, those puzzle toys you see where it's a cage with a ball inside, and you think, well, how the hell do you get that in? These things can print them internally. So yeah. So I'm happy with it. The software could be better, but it works. I'm happy with that. I think it was good value for money, and yeah. I will be getting a finer nozzle. This is a 0.4mm nozzle, which for this sort of stuff, brackets and whatever, I don't really care if it's not detail. Not bothered by that. It's good. There's a 0.2mm. My N-gauge Railway, I printed a porter cabin I designed on the Ender 3 at 0.4, and it was a bit... Yeah, so if it was over there somewhere on the layout in the background, yeah, it'd be fine. But up close, no. Put a 0.2mm nozzle in it, and it's actually pretty good. So I'm probably going to get one. Things coming up with it. I'm going to have a go at doing some coach interiors. I'm not sure if I'm going to print those in purple. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Comments more than welcome. If you've got one of these things, let me know what you think. How much faffing about have you had to do with trying to get the stuff to stick? So, yeah. And that one, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.